And welcome back. It is Waste Reduction Week across Canada, and Jay Illingworth is with us right now. He's the Director of Recycling and Harmonization. He's also with EPRA. Jay, how are you?
I'm good, Dylan. How are you doing?
Good. Can you tell us what EPRA stands for?
Sure.
I know, but tell us about this association.
Electronics Products Recycling Association. So we're an industry-led group that's come together to make sure that consumers right across Canada can easily and conveniently recycle their electronics at the end of their life with assurance that their data is going to be protected, that they're going to be recycled properly within Canada, and that stuff is not going to go to landfill.
Okay. At the end of the electronics life or the person's life?
Electronics,
okay.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, I'm not a funeral director.
I'm just being silly. So, Waste Reduction Week across Canada. So, is this a new initiative? How long has this week been around?
No, it's been going on for some time now. A lot of the recycling councils from right across Canada have set this up, and just kind of reminding people, you know, there's lots of really good, convenient, and responsible options to recycle your goods and services. So, the more stuff that you can get recycled, the stuff that can't go to landfill, and we can recover those materials and put them back into new products.
Okay, because we have, I got all these statistics that were handed to me, and I'm just really, it's incredible, really. So an estimated 80% of Canadians have old stuff, basically, old phones, old computers.
Yeah, your parents' old Zenith television from the 70s, you know, the one that's got a wet bar and, you know, Corinthian wood on it and stuff like that. They're still in the basement somewhere.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be worth something somewhere?
It's really not.
Probably
it's
not,
really,
right?
it's got a CRT, it's got a cathode ray tube tube in it,
Yikes.
which has about 8 pounds of lead in it. And so it should come back to us. We can responsibly recycle that, make sure that we're recovering the lead, putting it back into things like automotive batteries, for example.
Really?
And making sure it doesn't go to landfill and doesn't get into our environment. That's the important part.
So the main question is, how do people recycle stuff like that? Because if they've got these gigantic televisions, they don't know what to do with it, they're heavy. Yeah. How do you get rid of that?
So the best thing to do is we've got convenient locations right across Canada, thousands of locations. And I'm really proud in the 10 years that we've been operating, over 2,000 different locations right across Canada. Here in Ottawa, for example, the local Salvation Army, many of the retail stores like Staples and Best Buy are participating. There's recycling depots right across the province. If you go to recyclemyelectronics.ca and type in your postal code, you'll be able to get that and put it right up.
Okay, but do you need to make appointments to bring in stuff?
No, absolutely not. No, they take it for free because we've already put the financing forward to make sure that we can take back those products for free at the end of its life.
And because it's Waste Reduction Week across Canada, I mean, what's happening? Are there some events happening locally? Absolutely.
So I think in terms of local events, most of the local retailers will have take-back events. I know some of the municipalities also. Best thing to do is, again, go to our website, recyclemyelectronics.ca, and take a look for the events there.
Okay. Another fun fact here, 95% of people in the Ottawa area live within 10 minutes of recycling drop-off.
Yeah, okay. Absolutely. So for me, for example, I live in Old Ottawa South. There's a Salvation Army just at Bank and Alta Vista, very easy to get to. You can pull up there, they'll take it and make sure that it's responsibly recycled.
Okay. So what exactly are we looking at then? Because I know you mentioned, you know, televisions, old computers. Yeah. What else would be acceptable
Almost
to be recycled?
Anything. Old VCRs, telephones, you know, and any type of telephone, some of the old dial telephones.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're trying to really, there's, I guess, 3 drivers here. One is to declutter. 2 is to make sure that we're recovering the materials that are out there, and 3 is to make sure we're treating the environment right. And so by looking around your house, taking a look at any of the electronics that you really have lying around, bring them into one of our depots and we'll make sure they're responsibly recycled.
Okay, because we are actually just filling up the landfills with this stuff, right?
We were. You know what, I think Canada's in a really good spot. I'd say 10 years ago, I would say you're absolutely right, that stuff is all going to landfill. Now there's programs right across Canada. Every province and almost every territory has a program. The industry has really stepped up. I'm really proud of our industry to step up to take the responsibility and to make sure that there are convenient options to get that taken back. And we're working with partners like municipalities, Salvation Army, others, to really make sure that it's convenient for Canadians to do that.
Okay. And we're also recovering some precious materials as well. So which materials are being recovered by this recycling?
Well, you know, the ones often when I tell people what I do, they think, oh, there's a gold mine out there. And it's true, there is gold and there's platinum and there's silver. Very small quantities, and you have to recycle a lot of it to get those. Yeah. But we're also diverting things, substances of concern like mercury and lead and cadmium. We're recovering plastics, we're recovering glass, ferrous metals, non-ferrous metals. So all of that stuff can be put back into the supply chain if it's processed properly.
Okay, I did hear you say the word gold. So I'm kind of curious now. I mean, what kind of
Most of the circuit boards,
gold in it?
most of the circuit boards, especially some of the older devices, use gold as a way to conduct electricity. Actually, so they do actually have traces of gold, silver, and platinum in them.
That's pretty incredible.
It is.
I
Yeah.
bet a lot of people probably don't know that.
No, they don't. And again, some people. The best thing to do is to bring them to us. Let us do that process, because once you start to break down some of those parts, you have to be very careful about what you're doing. We're talking about metals here, right?
Yeah, the average person probably shouldn't be tearing apart old appliances.
No, we would recommend you not do that.
I'm also reading this. So a ton of laptops could conserve enough energy to heat over 700 homes in a year?
Absolutely.
So how does that even work?
Well, just because of the energy saving that goes into creating new materials and extracting new materials out of the earth for a laptop, if you can recover those materials and put them back into the supply chain, that's going to save a lot of energy and greenhouse gases, frankly, at the end.
Okay.
We estimate that every year our programs across Canada collect about 100,000 metric tons of electronics, and that's a little bit. It's hard to kind of get your head around, but it's about 20,000 African elephants, the weight of 20,000 African elephants every year that we collect in terms of old electronics, process them properly, and put those materials back into the supply chain.
All right, so for recycling drop-off locations and tips and all that kind of fun stuff, recyclemyelectronics.ca.
That's the one.
Best place to go to, and it's the Waste Reduction Week across Canada. Jay Illingworth, Director of Recycling and Harmonization, thank you for all these tips.
Thanks for having me, Dylan.
For keeping us keeping our junk out of the landfills and put them in the proper spots. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Details on the Great Pumpkin Charity Ball. We've got those for you next right here on Rogers.